you ever feel like you're constantly grinding, you're constantly mashing work, but for some reason, you still feel like you're stuck in the same place? Like, no matter how hard you push yourself, for some reason, you're always just a couple steps behind where you want to be. The reason why I'm saying this isn't to make you feel bad about yourself or anything. The reason I'm saying this is because I've been in the exact place that you are, my friend, for a very long time. I was mashing work day in, day out, checking off all of my to-do list boxes. But at the end of the day, do you think I felt satisfied? Surprisingly, I didn't feel satisfied at all. I still felt like something was missing, something I wasn't doing, and I wanted to know what that something was. What I realized the problem wasn't the grind. It was more my mentality and my approach towards my grind. I know it sounds cliche, but for me, there was one mindset, there was one paradigm shift that changed my life immediately. And that's something I want to share with you today. Let's rewind and take you back to a time where my paradigm shift did not occur initially. That mindset that I'm going to be telling you about, that change, it didn't happen then. So let me tell you what my life was like. I was grinding 24/7. I was checkboxing all of the boxes in my to-do list, all of the self-improvement habits. But despite this effort, I still felt stuck. I wasn't seeing any results immediately, at least, because what I was doing was delaying gratification. With delaying gratification, you don't see the pleasure, the dopamine instantly. That pleasure comes in afterwards, the whole reason why it's called delayed gratification. So in that small little period where I didn't get any progress, essentially, I felt depressed. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I was like, I'm not gonna keep doing this if it's not working, essentially. I remember one night before going into bed, making my to-do list and just trying to see, all right, what else can I add? Let me add a couple more things. Okay, cool, I have a gym workout here. Let me add a cardio workout as well in the morning. Just trying to burn myself out, just so at the end of the day, I can feel like, yes, I'm more proud of myself, I've done more stuff. By the way, this eventually led me to a big cough rut. So don't do what I did over here. Don't make the mistakes that I did. Trust me, I'm helping you out over here. Listen to my advice. Then it hit me. I was focusing on the wrong thing. I was very obsessed with the outcome. All I was doing was trying to chase success. But this approach and this mentality didn't work too well for me. Sure, you can put this as me just being ambitious, but if I'm overly focused on the outcome, if I'm overly focused on the end result, to be honest, I'm not going to be enjoying the journey. I'm going to end up quitting on that journey. It sounds simple, but let me tell you, the paradigm shift that I had towards my mentality changed immediately. This growth mentality that also you can implement as well is about essentially not excessively focusing on the outcome, but rather trying to fall in love with the process. Instead of thinking, I have to get this bullshit TT3 RS, it's, okay, how can I get better today? How can I improve one skill, let's say? I started to view these things as something within my power. Therefore, I could make change to it, which is the growth mentality. The best way to put this is you can't really choose the cards that you're dealt with, but you can choose how you want to play them. I think most people, including myself, get stuck in a fixed mentality. We believe we're either good at something or we're not, depending on DNA or genetics or just whatever other comfort excuse that we want to use. But let me tell you, my friend, this is a trap that will limit you before you even start. A growth mentality is more about embracing your failures, using your failures as an opportunity to learn, and understanding you can always improve on something. You can always understand something better. Instead of just thinking, okay, I'm not good at this. What if we rewired our brains to just think, I'm not good at this yet, but I've got a track record of a bunch of things I started out that I wasn't good at. Look at the gym, for example. We went into the gym just lifting random weights. We didn't even know what we were doing. We probably just did 20 sets of bicep curls that day. I walked out of the gym, but you've made progress. So the same thing applies. You have evidence of you performing exceptionally despite the odds not being in your favor. So therefore, you can do the same with any other task it may be, or any other skill or interest that you are trying to pursue. Once I embraced this mentality, I stopped thinking about the end outcome. Every challenge became an opportunity. Every setback was a lesson. And once I made that shift, my life changed immediately. It was almost like putting a real life cheat code. Let me show you how I applied this to my life. There was a point that I was stuck in my fitness journey. I just plateaued, to be honest with you. It was almost like no matter how hard I trained, no matter how many sets I took to failure, I just wasn't growing. I looked at myself, I was trying to weigh my arms and stuff, trying to step on a scale every week, just wondering like, okay, you know, these numbers have got to be changing, I've got to be getting these results. And it's frustrating because I'm here trying to optimize it all, and, you know, looking down at the scale and just seeing the same numbers every week. And then that African guy walks in the gym, he looks at a dumbbell and he just builds 10 pounds of muscle. Make it make sense to me. But then I realized I was thinking with a fixed mentality. I was expecting immediate results and I was just chasing the outcome. That's all I had my eyes on. So then I made the shift. Instead of trying to focus on the scale and the numbers that is bringing me every week, I was just lifting, just trying to focus on becoming a little bit better, implementing the Kaizen framework, which means small incremental improvements over time. Instead of thinking, yeah, I want to weigh 100 kg, 10% body fat, I figured, how can I perform this workout a little bit more optimally? How can I improve my diet a little bit? What's my protein intake like? How can I push myself slightly more than last time? Harder than last time, like Coach Greg. And then it wasn't just about the goal. It was more getting better. It was more falling in love with the process. You want to know what happened after? The results came in faster than Barry Allen from The Flash. You may be wondering, okay, Gagan, that sounds good and all, but how can I implement it for myself? Let me tell you, it's not too complicated. And I figure you are an intellectual individual because you're watching videos like these and not brain rot that's flooding the internet right now. Firstly, understand your self-worth isn't attached to the outcome. If you're constantly judging yourself based on whether you've made it or whether you've not made it, trust me, my friend, you're never gonna feel like it's enough. You're never gonna feel like you're enough because the bar just keeps increasing. When you were younger, it was here. Now it's here. Soon it's gonna be here. When are you ever gonna truly feel fulfilled? Instead, what I'm saying is focus on the process. Fall in love with the process. Make it fun and just focus on getting better every day, even if it's just a little bit. In the book Atomic Habits, James Clear goes over how improving just 1% each day can lead you to improving 37 times in a year, purely because of the compound effect. This mentality allows you to find value, fulfillment, and enjoyment in your journey because you're not just starting to enjoy it, you're starting to also become good at it, which makes you enjoy it more, which makes you become even good at it, and the cycle keeps repeating. Secondly, reframing your failures. If something doesn't go the way you wanted it to, see it as an opportunity to learn. Don't see it as a sign that you're not good enough. Ask yourself, alright, cool, what have I learned from this experience? What have I learned not to do from this experience? Because then you'll not be starting from scratch. You'll be starting from a place of experience. You'll be starting from a place of knowledge. If it helps, ask others as well. I was sparring the other day in boxing, and as soon as it finished, I asked the individual that I was sparring with, what was I doing well and what was I doing wrong in the match? And he told me exactly what I was doing well. He told me exactly what I needed to improve at. And as soon as he told me that, I started working on what I needed to improve. Once you start seeing failure as a stepping stone instead of a wall, it changes everything. Finally, I want you to celebrate. I want you to celebrate these small wins because the growth mentality thrives on progress. If you're only focused on the end goal, the end destination, my friend, you're probably going to be missing out on the power that Kaizen has. The power small incremental improvements can have. So celebrate and validate yourself with the progress that you've made because the average Joe is probably nowhere near your level. This is how you can keep yourself motivated and in a growth orientated state of mind. I think most people never make the shift because we're so wired to indulge in instant gratification. This starts from junk food, social media, video games, whatever it may be, and just rewiring our brains to seek out instant gratification, results instantly. I think if you're only focused on the end result and not taking time to appreciate where you are at the moment and taking time to really understand and enjoy your journey, it might lead you into getting into a bad rut like I have many times, and that's something I want you to avoid. We get stuck because we're so obsessed with the end game that we just forget to enjoy the process in the moment. We want to succeed without failing, grow without any form of discomfort, but the harsh reality is that failure creates growth, discomfort creates growth, and without this, it's probably just not gonna happen. The sooner you stop chasing the finish line, and the sooner you start enjoying the grind, this is where the real magic happens. But most people won't be willing to do that as they're just too focused on the end destination. Think of it this way, we've all played video games before. The one example I'm going to be using today is about GTA 5. The best parts was grinding, trolling people, police chases, doing heists, then getting the most fanciest cars in the game, getting to the maximum level so I can get that minigun. Shout out to my brother Axe for this analogy. If you keep chasing outcomes, you're just gonna feel like you're running in circles. But if you shift your mindset to grow and to improve, you view challenges as just you leveling up, you'll find success far beyond what you're chasing right now. I do understand it though, the frustration of checking off all your to-do list and just still feeling unfulfilled, questioning if what you're doing is even worth it or whether you should just quit it entirely. But let me tell you, you're capable of more than you think you're capable of, and we've got to stop letting this limited fixed mentality hold us back. I'm telling you this because I care about your journey. I understand exactly how you feel. Feeling stuck, feeling burnt out, feeling like you're not getting anywhere. But there's a whole different approach to this. You just have to shift your progress to growth, progressing day in and day out, and just enjoying the journey. It's not gonna happen overnight, but I promise you, if you do implement this mentality, you will be seeing way more progress. Imagine this: you've stopped obsessing about where you want to be and instead just fell in love with the process and fell in love with you just bettering yourself. You've embraced challenges head on, you've learned from your setbacks, and you've progressed significantly. You're no longer stuck. You're no longer thinking if what you're doing is worth it, because you know that every day is a step forward towards that end destination. You are enjoying every day and every second of it. You're starting to build this momentum, and before you know it, the results are starting to show. I think this is the power of a growth mentality, focusing on the process rather than the end outcome. And once you embrace this, you will win by default. So here's my challenge to you: start today and stop focusing on where you want to be, but instead focus on how you're going to be getting just 1% better each day. Reframe your failures as feedback, celebrate the small wins, and more importantly, trust the process. Because when you do, you'll find that your mindset shifted exactly just like how mine did. That paradigm shift changed your life exactly like how it changed mine. It's 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞, but you can call me 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, connect with the channel, and remember, your decisions today will define your tomorrow. Catch you in the next one.